So, look, this was, and I knew it going in. I knew it was going to be a tough game. There was a lot of people who I think thought this game we were just going to go in. We were going to blow the Bucs out. They shouldn't have even been there. They were in the worst division. They barely won it. They won it in the last week. I think they won it in the last week of the season or maybe the second to last week. Like, it was not a good year for the NFC South. But I knew this was a team that was red hot. Bucs were rolling. They were playing well. Baker Mayfield wanted to get some revenge of sorts. You know, obviously he lost to the Lions earlier in the season. And, well, Detroit got the last laugh. And first of all, there's just one thing that has to be established at this point. And it's something that Lions fans have been fighting over basically all season. It sort of got into a heated point near the later stage of the season, around the Thanksgiving and the Chicago game. But here it is. Jared Goff is your quarterback. I mean, I said if he can win this division, check. If he can win a playoff game, check. He's gonna get an extension one way or the other. He's done that and then some. He's taken this team to the NFC Championship game. In the playoffs, he's thrown for over 500 yards. He's got 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's been basically perfect in the postseason. Now, granted, both home games, as long as he's been on the Lions, especially since last year, he's played better at home than on the road. But it's not like I just don't know what else he has to do. He made some really, really impressive throws. That final throw to Amon-Ra St. Well, wasn't the final throw. That final touchdown throw to Amon-Ra St. Brown that really kind of pushed the game out of reach, I think, for the Buccaneers. That was just a dime. It wasn't like, oh, he's throwing to a guy open. No, he was throwing in coverage. It wasn't like, oh, he's, it's a bunch of yak. It's yards after catch. No, it was just a dime. It was just up in the air. It just drops right into the hands of St. Brown. It was a beautiful throw. It was a beautiful catch. And the thing is, there's just, if you don't think that Jared Goff is worthy of that extension at this point, there's really nothing short of winning a Super Bowl that he can do. Like, if this team goes on to win a Super Bowl, very good chance he's the Super Bowl MVP. And I don't know if people are ready to accept that. Now, again, like, people will say, like, well, he's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not, Josh Allen. He's not, and we'll get to Josh Allen in a little bit. He's not, Lamar Jackson. He's not Joe Burrow. It's like, all of that can be true. But what he is he's efficient. He's effective. He gets you down the field. In a situation where you were up just 1 touchdown, you needed a drive. You were pinned all the way back at your own, 8. Let me see if I can find the actual drive here. Let's see. This was, 89 yards. You were up by just 1 touchdown. You have a chance. 4th quarter, late in the game, you're pinned with 12-12 to go in the 4th quarter. You have a chance, march down the field, try to put this game away with a touchdown. And ye went 89 yards and just took you down the field. You had the deep pass to Jamison Williams. You had you had him get sacked. You had the pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You had where is it? You had obviously the pass. That was the pass to St. Brown for the touchdown. You had the pass to Sam Laporta for a first down. It wasn't for 3 yards, excuse me, not for a first down there. You had the pass to Montgomery for a first down. It wasn't, chucking it 50 yards like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't, Calvin Johnson's down there somewhere like Matthew Stafford used to do back in the day. It was effective. It was efficient. And I think whether you like it or not, he's your quarterback. And I really don't have a problem with it. If this is the kind of quarterback play that I can get roughly on a week-to-week basis from Jared Goff, I'm okay with it. We can get rid of this notion that, he's only doing it against these bad teams. He's doing it in the playoffs against playoff teams, okay? He's doing it against the Rams. He's doing it against the Bucs. Those are 2 playoff teams. Those are 2 teams. In the Buccaneers, a team that won their division, and in the Rams, a team that very well could have won their division if it wasn't for the San Francisco 49ers being the powerhouse that they were, right? It's not like we're talking about, he's doing this against, the Bears or against the Panthers or something. Like, he's doing this against good teams because he's a good quarterback. And yes, is he insulated? Yes. Does he have a lot of weapons? Yes. His defense is not all that reliable a lot of the time. It's been playing pretty good the last 6 games. I think they're averaging 24 points a game or something, maybe less than 24 points a game, something like that. But he's your guy. And you just got to deal with it. I really got no problem. If this is my quarterback for the next 3-4 years, I'm okay with it. I can live with it. That's fine with me. And on the point of the defense, I think there's one philosophy that I can identify with this defense, especially in the postseason. And it's bend, don't break. And I think somebody else pointed this out, so I'm not going to, I don't know, I don't remember where I heard it. I saw it maybe somewhere. But it's bend, don't break. Like, let me point this out to you, okay? How many yards did Baker Mayfield throw for? He threw for 349 yards, and he lost the game. He threw 3 touchdowns. That's a touchdown for every 100 yards he passed, and then some. He did throw 2 interceptions. That's big, right? First drive of the game, he throws an interception. Final drive of the game, he throws an interception. Those 2 interceptions changed the pace of the game. We turned that first interception into a field goal. We turned that last interception into kneeing it down, right? That's the difference. And it's like, yeah, they give up a lot of yards in the air, 349 in the air. You don't run on this team. Just 89 total rushing yards. Rachaad White, he had 55 total rushing yards. Chase Edmonds had 19. Baker Mayfield had 15. Like, you had very little rushing threat from this Buccaneers team. It was, you have to beat us in the air. And you know what? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it a little bit. Like, yeah, Mike Evans had 147 yards. You know what happened? Mike Evans' team lost. Lions' team won. Full stop. The defense won. And you had Aiden Hutchinson getting involved, had a sack. You had Brian Branch get a couple of TFLs and a sack. You had Ifeatu Melifonwu get a sack and a half. And you had Jalen Reeves maybe get a half a sack. You had all these guys. You had Derek Barnes, obviously, with the game-winning interception. Like, it's not it's not like, the steel curtain, but it's effective because this offense is potent. If we score 30 points on you, there's a good chance we win the game. And if we get turnovers, you're not winning the game. No, it's not going to happen. If we're getting more than 1 turnover on the game, we're probably going to win because we're going to score at least a field goal on either one or both of those, let alone a touchdown or 2. Like, it's one of those things where I get why people get upset about this defense, and I'm fully aware of it. I was upset at the defense later in the season. But when you're not giving up 24 points a game your last 6, I think that stat is accurate. I could be totally wrong on that. And when you're getting the turnovers, when you're effective in the moment that you need to be effective, like down just 1 possession, what does the defense do? They make a play. Derek Barnes gets his first career interception. What do they do when they fail? When they go 3-and-out on their first opening drive? No problem, no problem, offense. We'll just get a turnover. We'll just force a third and long. I couldn't tell you how many 3rd and longs this defense forced. And, yeah, did they convert a lot of those? They converted a few of them. But you force a team into 3rd and longs, they get desperate. They got to make those kind of plays. And I'd rather lose to a team that is, that is forced to have to convert a 3rd and 17 every other drive than just let them march down the field methodically. Right? Again, it's not always pretty. It's not always going to be fun, but it is what it is. And one more thing I wanted to point out about this team. I look at the 49ers, and we'll preview that game later in the show. Are they kind of the future of this team in a way? And I know literally they're the future because we're going to be playing them on Sunday. But I mean in the way that team is structured, in the way the team is insulated around Brock Purdy. And they really have never had great, elite, quote-unquote, quarterback play, right? Yeah, Jimmy G, you had, Trey Lance, who is no longer with us. I think people have forgotten about Trey Lance because he's the backup for the Cowboys. Yeah, and now you have Brock Purdy, and nobody really knows whether or not Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I think people feel the same way about Jared Goff. Now, to be fair, you have a little bit more, of like a view of Jared Goff. He's been playing in the league for much longer. But I think that it's a similar kind of team in that it's insulating around a quarterback who has their limitations. It's an elite run game. You have McCaffrey, we have Gibbs and Montgomery. You have Debo on the other side, you have Al-Amron on this side. You have Ayuk, you have Jamison Williams / maybe Josh Reynolds. You have Kittle, we have Sam Laporte. Like I'm just pointing out positional, I'm equating each position. But I think you look at the talent slots in this team, you have a great O-line in San Fran, you have a great O-line in Detroit. You have, I think, a budding defensive line in Detroit with Hutchinson and McNeil, and hopefully Houston will be back to play this game, assuming he is the kind of guy that we're expecting him to be. Like, you have those kinds of players, and you have some pretty nice looking linebackers. You got Jack Campbell, who's playing well. You got Derek Barnes, who's still a pretty young player. You got Alex Anzalone, who's the captain of that defense. Like, I look at the 49ers, and I think if there is a team that is a vision of the future for this franchise, for this Lions team, I think that is the team that I would most say. Because they're not the Chiefs. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. Jared Goff is nothing like Patrick Mahomes. They're not the Ravens. They're not the Bills. They're not any of these other, playoff high caliber teams. They are most like the 49ers. And that is why I think it's going to be an interesting game on Sunday. Hey there, what you just watched was actually a clip from a larger show that we do every Tuesday night. What are you doing Tuesday night? Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button so that you don't miss out on any more of our weekly shows every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hope to see you there.